I'm in London today to ask the great British public what businesses make the most money. As well as asking the general public what businesses make the most money, we asked them if they got their grubby hands on £1 million, how they would invest it and what they think makes a business profitable. We got a variety of interesting and controversial opinions. Someone even said businesses are just greedy. This is one of our longest ever public videos, so stick around to the end because I think you're going to be shocked by the conflicting viewpoints you're going to watch. If you had to invest in a business or start a business, what type of business do you think would make the most money?
I think it's mainly the food industry. I feel that's evergreen. People always want food.
What industry do you work in?
In the financial services.
But that makes a lot of money, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's what I said. You're comparing the local businesses or the big banks, right?
So if you had a choice between investing your own money into financial services, the finance industry, or food, you'd still rather put your own money into a food business rather than financial services?
Then I would go for the equity market. But if you're speaking with local businesses and someone has to start that, then it's more food for maybe it's because my background and my family has been in the food industry, so maybe it's just biased because of that. But
so in the finance industry, for every £1 they put to work, what sort of return do they get?
It depends on what funds you choose, but typically over the last 2 to 3 years, they've made good returns around 30%, 40%, and even some funds around 80-90%.
But even in the best possible times, economic highs, everything going in your favour, I don't think food industry businesses would always make that. But I do believe that I think you've got a really good point that you could always have a steady Eddie approach in a food business if you're a supermarket, for example, high economy, low economy, supermarkets always seem to do okay.
Yeah.
If you had some money to invest in a business, which ones would you invest in?
Depends what's profitable.
What type of businesses do you think are profitable?
Tech.
Tech? What sort of tech?
So I've literally been awake for an hour, so you're not going to get the best responses from me, I'm afraid.
James, what sort of businesses do you think make the most money?
Depends how high risk you want to go. If you want to get into like crypto or something, but obviously the chances are you're going to lose a shit ton.
Have you done any crypto?
Personally, no, because again, it's just too fragile.
But you think if you get that right, they make a lot of money?
Oh, 100%, yeah. The returns are massive.
What about more traditional businesses? If you had to invest in a more traditional business, what things do you think make most money?
It's difficult because I think it comes down more to the individual than the industry.
Or the individual driving it forward,
yeah, 100%. If you get the right person, it doesn't matter which industry they get involved in, they will make it profitable. And if you get the wrong person, it doesn't matter what industry it is, it won't be.
I think that's a really good point, that. I'm going to ask Caitlin now what she thinks makes a business profitable.
Understanding of the customer.
Oh, no one said that yet. That's a good one.
Provide what they promise.
If you were going to start a business, what sector or industry would you go into?
Travel.
Do you work in travel right now?
I'm actually going for an interview, so.
Are you? Congrats. What are you going for?
Just business admin.
But would you like to open your own business one day?
Possibly, I don't know.
Do you think travel's profitable?
Possibly, but it's interesting, so it doesn't matter if it's that profitable.
You just want to have a nice laugh?
Yeah, have a nice laugh.
So I'm asking Robin here what he thinks makes a business profitable. What do you think, Robin?
Well, in a slightly cynical manner, I'd say it's greed.
What about sectors? Do you think some sectors are more greedier than others?
Well, I've worked in a few sectors myself. I've worked in IT, telecoms, sales, and in real estate.
Which one made the most money out of all of those?
Different people in the organisations make different amounts of money. Like I said, on a slightly kind of philosophical manner or note, you've got directors who will have a company and wipe up all the money for themselves, but then you'll have other companies that allow individuals to make a lot of profit themselves. In sales, everyone kind of knows the gambit. It's the salesman trying to get the most commission. My time working in the property industry, I've found that it's kind of letting agent or a sales agent just push the margin a little bit. And while they don't necessarily think that they're making a huge dent, the overall effect of so many people on so many buildings constantly driving up prices means that, as everyone already knows, real estate is wiping a lot of money out of people's pockets.
So if you were starting a business or you had to invest in a business, what sort of sector would you go into?
I would probably look into addiction recovery, as that's something I've gone through myself as well.
And do you do that because you believe that's a great thing to do in your heart, or does your head tell you that could be really profitable?
No, that's completely in my heart. That's because I've seen and I know firsthand how difficult it can be to live in high pressure or high money seeking environments. If I had a long-term goal, I would want to give back to people to show them that they can have a fulfilling life without having to be in that greed environment.
Do you think some businesses are addicted to profit? There's a greed to get more and more profit all the time.
Without a doubt. I mean,
Does it annoy you that some businesses make lots of money?
Massively, yeah.
Do you think it's unfair?
Hugely.
What's your opinion on a better way forward then? Because if you don't have businesses making profit, they won't employ people and won't carry on investing.
True.
Do you trust the government to do a better job if it was a socialist state and they were collecting all the money and distributing it?
I think the problem is, I'd say you have individuals in companies will drive the profitability of that company, whether it's for their own gain or whether it's for. I think I've seen a lot of experience or a lot of times when people don't necessarily need that much money, but they do, as you say, they get addicted to the money because the money becomes their definition of success is by how much money they've made, whereas they don't necessarily have that personally or kind of emotionally fulfilling role. You know, they get to their whatever point in their career and go, right, I've made however many hundreds of thousands or millions, and their benchmark of success is to say, can I do it again, rather than to say, am I happy with what I have, and can I now give this same feeling of success or empowerment or self-worth to other people.
What do you think, Pharrell, makes a business profitable?
Just working hard, innit?
Getting sales, obviously, marketing, there's branding, there's like just word of mouth referrals, just how you push your brand out there.
What about this though? If you had some money to invest in a business, what type of business would you invest your money in?
I'll probably get into like tech or software, somewhere to do with tech and software.
Does it excite you to employ people or?
Yeah, of course, because at the end of the day, right, especially the state the country's in right now, there's a lack of unemployment and a lot of people that have an entrepreneurial mindset. So it's very tough, especially right now, really and truly. But if you employ people, it's like you're making a difference. You're changing it. You're going to help the economy and also going to do something productive for the community as well. Because lack of jobs is causing knife crime, as you can see. It's causing youth violence and a lot of stuff. A lot of kids have nothing, so they're going to go out there looking for something to do, really and truly. Yeah.
What do you think makes a business profitable?
I have to say the right structure. So if all the things are more or less put in place, so who's going to do the marketing, who's going to do the budgeting, who's going to be running all the the tax accounts, stuff like that. If everyone's in their place in the right structure, I think the business has no reason why it shouldn't be profitable. If it solves a problem and a problem that needs to be done in society, then the money comes.
What sectors do you think are the right business sectors that have got a chance of making a profit? So if you had £1 million to start a business, what business would you start?
I'd most probably start, has to be in real estate, probably BRRs, so buy refurbishing, refinancing, that sort of stuff. And I'd probably run an Airbnb business as well.
An Airbnb?
Yeah, around the coastal areas.
So this guy here, he goes software and tech.
Yeah.
And tech. She's saying real estate, this one.
Okay, think about it, yeah. 200,000 for a house to get £800 a month. Think about it. That don't make sense. But you see software, if you have something like a camera, even like speed cameras, just something creative, yeah, you make money off it because governments, third world country people, they'll buy it. Like the governments buy stuff like that, and it's really, in my opinion.
So you're thinking about how you can get most return on your cash deployed.
Of course.
Yeah,
100%. What's your opinion?
The most profitable types of business, I think. I don't like residential property, but I think commercial property is a much better way to be. I agree with you.
Buildings and that.
Yeah. I also feel that you're on the money. Not many people will be thinking about total cost of total capital deployed. So if you invest 200,000 in that or 200,000 in that, what's going to get you the best return? Most people are not thinking of that stuff, and you mentioned it. You're the only one, and we've asked a lot of people today. It's a really smart thing, and I agree with you. You put £200,000 in the house and get £800 a month. Actually, building a business is so much better. So do you have a job right now?
Me personally, I'm doing sales and marketing right now.
So my opinion as well, sales and to marketing, that is the absolute number one skill for you to be a successful business owner. So you out here, you're just going up to people like me.
Yeah, so yeah, more or less, literally just talking to them, it's making a big difference.
You're really cool. I really like talking to you.
If I said I wanted to sell you a business, why would you buy it from me?
That's a great question. So what would make me buy a business? Great management team.
Great management team, so I need that.
Regular residual income.
Okay.
So I don't like businesses that start from zero each month.
All right.
So if
Subscriptions.
but even, I don't know, like a day nursery. I've got 10-day nurseries.
Okay.
So that would be, I'm always looking to buy day nurseries because it's the same regular income and the customers stay with you for 4 or 5 years. So that means that I've got predictable revenue. So I don't really, making money out of subscriptions.
Yeah.
Everyone says that's really easy. In reality, I think that's a very difficult business to build.
Okay.
On the face of it, it looks like a laptop lifestyle, and I don't think that is hugely possible for many people. But I like the idea if we can take that idea and put that into brick and mortar traditional businesses.
Yeah.
So another one would be an accountancy practice. You get a client, they renew every single year.
Yeah.
Insurance brokerage, you get someone to pay you their insurance. As long as you do good product, good service, they keep on renewing year on year on year on year. So you've got to find those types of businesses where they have repeat custom. What makes a business profitable in his opinion? Over to you, Harry.
To be honest, I actually think the main reason is because people work together, but also none of this new mentality nowadays that, if I don't have to do it, then I don't need to do it. If you can get a workforce that actually enjoys what they're doing and goes, let's all work together. We all want the same thing. We're not here just for a paycheck. We like what we do. We want to do what we do. And if you get a big team like that all work together and sort of vibe, that's probably not a very professional word, but
building an effective, profitable team is definitely part of it. What do you think is an industry that if you had that effective team should be focusing on to make the most money?
Well, I mean, I'm in finance, and that's all I've ever done, so I couldn't really...
Finance, what, working for a bank?
Investment banking, yeah.
Out there.
Yeah.
And they always make money, do they?
We certainly try our best, yeah.
Do you think that investment banking is much easier than, say, opening a shop and doing a traditional brick and mortar business?
I certainly think opening a shop, especially at the moment in somewhere like London, is probably retail struggling. Reliance on technology and everything is the way forward, not just in what I do, but in probably the majority of industries. And I worry about the retail side and whether we're ever going to be walking around in 20 years' time and have anyone sort of working on the side of the road, or whether it's all going to be at home. And who knows? It's above my pay grade to predict the future. But
I liked Harry's answers. Thank you very much, Harry. So many businesses are struggling. So many businesses don't make money. There's a little pocket that do make money. What are the types of businesses, in your opinion, that are profitable?
I suppose businesses that are profitable are still business that, say, supermarkets, grocery shops, or...
Why though?
Well, it's just an essential thing. Everyone needs to buy food. So I suppose that's, even through the pandemic, I on top of my head.
Question, if I gave you £1 million,
yeah,
and you had to start a business with that £1 million,
yeah,
what type of business would you start?
Probably just investment.
You would invest it?
I would just probably invest it, yeah.
Into what?
Probably properties.
If I gave you £1 million, what would you invest your £1 million in?
Let's see the million first.
But he's going apartments. He's going to be renting. He's doing real estate. What about you?
Properties also is dangerous now because we entering into a era where it can actually, for next decade, it can really go down.
Are you worried about a recession?
Yeah, I think there is a chance that I mean this will happen. I think to a certain extent, because starting from Brexit through all the afterwards crisis after crisis after crisis.
So would you start your own business, or do you think having a job is better?
Having your own business it's now is definitely a hard time for it. Yeah, now it's the time where it's going to be probably the hardest time to do something and be successful.
Do you worry about your job in this recession?
Well, I'm a teacher, so I'm not worried. I'm just worried about my bills because I have last 10 years my salary is actually 20% lower and is going lower and lower, and we always hear from the government that now is not the time to give money because now is this, and it's for last 15 years actually you have constantly government saying the same thing. So
what sort of money do you think people have on average to spend a month after all their bills? Like, well, you know, you've got your salary, you pay your rent or your mortgage. How much do you have spare to go to restaurants, to go on holiday? Do you think what do you think the average is people have per month?
I don't know what's the average. I believe there is a very little money. Like many people cannot anymore, I think, go for holidays abroad. Like I never go. I resign already from any things going further than Europe because that's too much money. So yeah, I eventually, if I just go to Europe because.
Could you eat out once a week in a restaurant, or would you worry if you did that?
No, I mean in my situation, I still can. But yeah, I do kind of make sure it's not happen too often. I kind of think about this, rather cook at home, make sure I not spend too much.
If you do spend, do you get remorse that you've overspent? Do you get what we call buyer's remorse? So if you buy some new clothes or you go out too much, you think, oh my God, I shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah, there is something about this. Yeah, because we I also think about future and saving money for the family and stuff like this. So if you want to save money on top of everything what's happening now, it's just becomes like a worry actually. Like, what can I do really to yeah.
Lovely to speak to you, sir.
Okay, thank you.
When you think about entrepreneurs, though, do you put them in the same bracket as someone in the city that's making big banking bonuses? Because before you answer, I just think with lots of entrepreneurs that I meet, they invest most of what they make back in to grow and grow and grow.
Oh, definitely. There, and you know, I would never want to tarnish the term entrepreneur with bad eggs. There's obviously people that do set up, charitable foundations, or generally socially conscious organisations and businesses. And yeah, there are a lot of entrepreneurs who start out and invest so much of their own time and money to build something they think is worthwhile. Like I said,
and they might not make money for 20 years. What about someone like, say, Richard Branson, Elon Musk? What's your thoughts on someone like that? That's obviously worth billions, both of them, but they keep on going. Why do they do it?
Well, I'd hate to comment individually. I'm not a big fan of Elon Musk.
Why's that?
I just think the contradiction of his environmental approach, the carbon footprint of SpaceX and even the carbon footprint of Tesla is not negative. It's like a myth that a lot of people have been duped by, that electric cars are making the world greener. They're not right now. The carbon footprint of any electric car is far higher than buying someone else's second-hand car.
So just going back to, Elon Musk, Richard Branson, they're obviously worth billions.
Yep.
They've got wealth that most people can't even fathom. They can't get it into their mind. Do you begrudge them for keep on growing and building businesses, or do you think it's good that they keep on employing more people and creating economies?
I don't begrudge them individually. So I might have issues with some of the marketing or general promotion that they use. I think overall people, it's human nature to have desire to push yourself, and whether that goes to the point of pushing your business in an unfortunately unethical direction isn't necessarily their fault. But a change in approach from all businesses to come together and say, right, let's put a stop to some of the excessive greed.
Do you think that most businesses are ethical or unethical?
I think at the heart of it, everyone wants to be ethical. Whether they have the ability to do that in the to the utmost of their ability is going to be whether they succeed or fail.
One more quick question. If a business generates £1 million in revenue, how much do you think they make in profit out of that £1 million?
In my career as a surveyor, I've worked with businesses from high street shops, restaurants, banks, law firms, market stalls. I've worked with a massive range, so I'd never be able to put a figure on it. A healthy margin for most businesses I'd expect to be around the 20 to 30% margin, but I've seen businesses bringing in 70, 80% margins. I've seen businesses literally teetering on the edge of bankruptcy.
If you could put an average percentage, my view is £1 million revenue, what percentage of that do you think the business owner gets to keep in their personal bank account?
Bottom line profit, I'd say 10 to 15% profit margin gives them enough to have a little bit of bonus for themselves, a little bit put away, and a little bit to reinvest in whatever they see fit.
So if they've got £1 million business, And there's quite a lot of SME businesses that have got $1 million of revenue. You think they're making 100 to 150 grand personally out of it?
If they can make that, I wouldn't be angry at them. Like in terms of trying to get to that, what's ethical or unethical. If they're making a bottom line 10% profit margin, I'd say that's good.
Well, my view is that hardly any of them are doing that. I would say no, but forever. I don't think many businesses get past 5% net profit. I know loads of people that have got £1 million revenue businesses, and they just pay themselves a wage of between 30 and 50 grand. And they've personally guaranteed, put their house on the line to get their thing going. In reality, it takes them years and years and years to make any money.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But like you were saying, you get to that point after maybe 10, maybe 20 years, and they hit that point where they go, actually, I can buy myself a new home. I can buy myself a Mercedes rather than a Vauxhall. Those ones that reach that, they do get there eventually. There are some, like I say. I know, as I said, I've dealt with a lot of businesses who are on the brink of bankruptcy, so I know that there's a lot out there.
I think there's more losing money or just about getting by than making money. Would you agree?
Yeah.
When those few people literally make it, those Elon Musk, those Richard Branson, they're unicorns. They're unicorns in the great scheme of things. I suppose because them stories are out there, people carry on striving to make it, but in reality, it's so difficult. It steals your personal life, your family life, sleepless nights. It's really difficult. But thank you for chatting to me.
Pleasure.
I really enjoyed that. It's very difficult being an entrepreneur and a business owner. True. Most fail. True. That is the facts show you that overwhelmingly. And I actually think most members of the public think businesses just make loads of money. And the reality is they don't. Every sector, it's usually 70% are losing money or just breaking even. Yeah. Then you've got 15% that are doing okay. And then you've got the top 5 to 15% that are making money. And actually in that 5 to 15%, then in the top 5% are the ones that are doing well. Most people, just getting by. It's really sad. And they work incredibly hard.
True. And it's funny how, I was speaking of equity market, right? How these things make a lot of money. Yeah. Even because of the government policies or quantitative easing, going in and the money pumped in, and they just make rich people more richer, and the money doesn't trickle down to the.
Well, what I get really frustrated about is, as a property investor, I think the money I've made from property, just by buying and holding assets, your wealth can grow, or someone's personal wealth can grow. If you're an entrepreneur, you put all that hard work in, and all of the odds are stacked against you. True. The government takes way more of your turnover than anyone could possibly understand. VAT, insurance premium tax, national insurance, business rates, a cocktail of turnover taxes that just takes most of your revenue. And that's why most businesses are only making between 1 and 4% net profit. And most people don't get that. And then of that 1 and 4% net profit, most business owners that I meet reinvest most of that. So it's like just a long game of what they just keep on trying and trying and trying.
Even the property market, it was good maybe a decade ago, but now since it's not as friendly.
Well, because of the tax changes. I agree.
The market has not been as favorable in the last 4-5 years. So property also is not a big gainer. Unless you do HMO and you're really into it and you do.
But even that HMO stuff, I flirt with that. It's such hard work. People think it's higher revenue, but you've got lots of costs. And now with electricity and utility costs going up, it's not fun. And the government are so anti-residential landlords. But actually, because of that, you're now seeing less rental properties, which is now making rental properties go up higher because there isn't as much stock and not everyone wants to buy, Anyway, great talking to you.
Catch up.
There's some interesting things that I picked up from today. Number one, I asked people, look, if I gave you £1 million, what would you do with it to start a business? And they straight away go to investing. They go, well, I want to have real estate. That's not really a business. It's, no employees. It's an investment. And I do the same. I get why people want to do that. It de-risks. And I asked the other question is, would you prefer to start your own business or have a job? And overwhelmingly, people said they want to have their own job. They're worried about the economic downturn that we're reading in the papers at the moment. I know lots of business owners are worried about that as well. The truth is, though, if you're a business owner, an entrepreneur, there's more successful businesses and more millionaires created in economic downturns and upturns. And that's really why I've been motivated to put on my business masterclass. I'm running a 2-day event in London, a meetup for entrepreneurs and aspiring business owners. You can get your tickets at jamessinclairbmc.net. I put a link in the video description. Tickets are only a few £100. I'm going to teach everyone about property investment, buying companies, growing companies, raising finance, building profitable teams. It's going to be an amazing 2 days in London to help grow your business. Now, I want to have a little thing. If you've got any ideas on videos that we should make where we're asking the public about questions on entrepreneurship and business, hit them in the comments below, because I'd love to be inspired by you on what content we should be making to help grow your business. I want you to swipe these ideas and deploy them into your business. Make sure you like this video, subscribe, tell all your friends, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.